Don in London. Hello. November the 18th, 2009. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour and living life, so life works. So my addictive substance in the past, and would be again if I were to try and go out there and control it, was alcohol, is alcohol. My behaviour could have been anything. To take the edge off, to fill the gap, to collect, to try and love and be part of. And the obsession of being included and then not quite sure how to be included drove me bonkers, and that insanity, if you like, led to more drinking, to take the pain away, to feel okay, to not even know, to be oblivious to my situation. And it was weird and odd that alcohol, work, relationships, anything, just to make it look right and try and feel right, when in fact I never felt right, or quite right, for long periods of time. There were joy moments, of course, and joyous relationships, but they never seemed to last, and I guess that was because I didn't know how to live life too well, because drink was always in the background and always influencing me in what I did, socially or antisocially, in an isolated, excluded way. So what's helped me get into sobriety? Well, family, friends, community, professionals kept me alive long enough to get a moment of clarity, and that moment of clarity was I cannot do it on my own. Once I got to the addicted stage of alcohol and cross-addicting into behaviour, I couldn't get out of it on my own. And what helped me most was family, community, professionals, and then becoming part of a fellowship, and that fellowship is AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. And I don't speak for AA because it's full of unique, authentic people who can speak for themselves. And anonymity means that some people share anonymously in meetings, and they keep it that way, and others, like me, share how experience, strength and hope helps keep me sober a day at a time. And we choose. It's a choice, personal choice of how we live life soberly, and that's the gift, to live with our choices today. So I have to say I'm an absolute fan of AA. It's done something which I couldn't do, got me included back in the game of life, or back in life. Sometimes game, maybe, I don't know. So back in life, and the fellowship has a statement of intent which I share here, and some of the readings. And the statement of intent, or the AA preamble, goes like this, and it says, Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. It does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And what more can a fellowship be about? Well, it doesn't need to be any more than that. It's about sobriety, and once we've got back to being sober, life works again, from problem to solution. But we are forgetful people, and that applies to everybody on the planet. And if we don't go back for some reassurance and some more wisdom learned as we go along, and sharing experience, strength and hope, we are very forgetful, and we can go back into the problem rather than being in the solution. So I don't want to be in an ocean of alcohol. I much prefer to be in the lifeboat with my life preserver on, which is with fellowship, and that works for me. And I went to a fellowship meeting last night, and it was blinking brilliant. Somebody I knew did the chair. That's the bit at the beginning where somebody shares their story as it is today for about 10 minutes, and then we will get the chance to share back. And the gift is that when we get new people every time doing this, and even if we hear the same person again, their story's changed in some way or other since the last time, even if it's only a few days, and we connect with that story, and we connect, and it brings up memories of how it was for us, how it is today, and how it can be. And that is it. It's a sort of self-healing through choices process, but it requires other people to be a part of it. So we are not alone, and that was the greatest gift I learned, not to be alone anymore, isolated, excluded, and feeling unloved by myself mainly, which turned into self-hatred, self-obsession, and oblivion seeking through alcohol or whatever it could be. So, the daily readings from the daily reflections, this book which I use here, or utilise here, 12 steps of action for the individual in the fellowship on a daily basis, whichever is appropriate, and in this book it covers one of the 12 steps every month. So step 11, November, all about prayer and meditation, and for today it says November 18th, a safety net. Occasionally we are seized with rebellion, so sickening we simply won't pray. When these things happen, we should not think too ill of ourselves. We should simply resume prayer as soon as we can, doing what we know to be good for us. And what I've learned is that prayer and meditation doesn't depend on whether you believe in God or not. Prayer and meditation brings us to a place of understanding our possibilities in life and how we are a part of something bigger, and it's not all about me. So it goes on to say, sometimes I scream, stomp my feet and turn my back on my higher power. Then my disease tells me that I'm a failure, that if I stay angry I'll surely get drunk. In those moments of self-will, it's as if I've slipped over a cliff and I'm hanging by one hand. The above passage is my safety net, in that it urges me to try some new behaviour, such as being kind and patient with myself, which means we can also be kind and patient with other people. It assures me that my higher power will wait until I am willing once again to risk letting go, to land in the net, in the fellowship for me, and to pray. And when I think about all of those things, prayer and meditation, all the time I was drinking, all I was meditating on was the next drink, or another occasion where I could drink, or to go find some isolation so nobody would know just how much I was drinking. And as Bill sees it, this one, page 261, as many pages as a day as you require, fearless and searching, page 261. My self-analysis has frequently been faulty. Sometimes I fail to share my defects with the right people. That's my, I suppose, defects is doing too much of the wrong thing. Fear, brave-facing and ego for me. I've confessed their defects rather than my own, and still at other times my confession of defects has been more in the nature of loud complaints about my circumstances and my problems. When AA suggests a fearless moral inventory of my assets and liabilities, it must seem to every newcomer that more is being asked of him than he can do. Every time he tries to look within himself, pride says, "You need not pass this way," and fear says, "You dare not look." But pride and fear of this sort turn out to be bogeymen, nothing else. Once we have a complete willingness to take the inventory and exert ourselves to do the job thoroughly, a wonderful light falls upon this foggy scene. As we persist, a brand new kind of confidence is born, and the sense of relief at finally facing ourselves is indescribable. In other words, what we find out is the absolute truth of where our defects of character take us. That's our fear, our brave-facing, and ego, which is often about showing up and looking right rather than feeling right. And the other side of that, the other side of defects, if you like, or too much of doing something, is the other side of faith, courage and confidence, where my shortcomings are. So if I don't do enough to improve my faith, my courage, my confidence, no matter what my belief system might be, I'm probably undermining myself and then undermining my life. So at the end of all of this, what helps me on a daily basis really is that serenity prayer, which is around acceptance of can do, can't do, to God or good conscience or whatever it is, of your understanding, not mine. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. For me is simply for today.